So for those who don't know, there was a point in time when Disney Channel gave a shit about animation. This was, of course, both the 90s and the early 2000s. And in the early 2000s, there was one show that was different from all the rest. Kim Possible. It was about this girl with the same name who was this independent spy. She didn't work at some sleazy organization like in Totally Spies. There was Whoop. And yes, that was the actual name of the organization. She was just doing her own thing with her incompetent friend Ron Stoppable, a naked mole rat named Rufus, and a 10-year-old genius named Wade who was always behind the screen. Most of the time. There were a few times where he actually joined them in person. But you mainly just saw him behind the screen. It was just a sort of Monster of the Week cartoon where Kim would always face a different villain like Monkey Fist or Draken and Shigo. The series went on for a couple of seasons, had about 2 straight-to-TV films, and overall, it was one of Disney Channel's greatest animated series. It's very comparable to things like Recess and Phineas and Ferb and Gravity Falls. Now, Disney Channel's taking a crack at making a live-action film, and I'm a little concerned. Now, first let's go over the positive stuff, something that most rant channels don't want to do. A positive aspect is the fact that the series creators, Mark McCorkle, Robert Shuley, are going to be writing the script and also acting as executive producers for the movie, with Adam B. Stein and Zab Lebowski. I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce that name, I'm sorry if I pronounce it wrong, set to direct. So, for the most part, it seems like that we may at least have a fun experience. My concern does not come from the fact in the writing. If you have the series creators, if you have the people who made the series great, there's a decent chance that at least you're going to have something that resembles what came many years ago. I hope. There are some points where maybe famous creators could screw up, but let's be hopeful. Now, many people are probably going to think, oh, your issue is that it's live action. No. Kim Possible could probably really work in live action, but the problem is Disney Channel is behind the movie, not actual Disney themselves. Disney Channel is prone to doing straight-to-TV films, and yes, they have done theatrical films. A whole 2 of them. Hannah Montana the Movie and High School Musical 3. Now, you probably think, oh yeah, they've done theatrical, maybe this one will be theatrical. Maybe, but that doesn't mean that I'll put that much effort into it. Hannah Montana the Movie had a $45 million budget, which is small, but it was just a little live-action movie that didn't have that many special effects, and a lot of the stuff they did was more grounded in reality. So of course the budget isn't going to be too huge, and Disney Channel hasn't made too many theatrical films. It made its money back, of course, because Hannah Montana was a huge brand at that point in time. However, the movie High School Musical 3 only had a budget of $11 million, which is extremely low, something that more in the lines of like a straight-to-TV film would have. Like its earlier film, High School Musical 2, that had $7 million, and also Teen Beach Movie that only had $8 million. Most likely what happened was that this film was planned to be straight-to-TV, but they saw the potential in the brand High School Musical, which back then in like 2006, God, this thing was huge. Most likely they wanted to try and make more money off of it, so they made it theatrical. And God knows, with a budget that small, they most likely made their money back. Like, here, let's check. Let's check if they made their money back. Box office. Oh, yeah, oh God, definitely. $11 million with the budget. The box office was $252 million. So, yeah, it's considered a financial success. Those are my concern. Disney Channel rarely ever wants to go ahead and put that much money into something, even if it's something that's supposed to be ambitious. Kim Possible may not be about magic, but it also has some sci-fi elements every now and then, and it's still a cartoon spy thing. When I think about the concerns, I always think about like the costumes, the special effects. Think about this. Which would you rather have? Like a more fluent animation of Kim swinging off of a grappling hook, or a green screen of a live-action person doing the same exact thing, where it's going to be blatantly obvious it's a green screen? If they had put more money... If they're going to be making a live-action film, I hope to God it's theatrical, and I hope to God they're putting a competent amount of money into it. Because this kind of stuff isn't cheap. It works for more things grounded in reality, like High School Musical and Hannah Montana, but it might not work for something along the lines of, let's say, Kim Possible, that may need more special effects. Now, am I saying if it looks bad, does that mean it's going to be bad? No. My belief is this: the visual aspect should be treated separate, still has a right to be criticized, but shouldn't make or break a story. But of course you know my main concern. is that, well, Disney Channel's behind it, and not actual Disney themselves. Now, Disney Channel has done decent things before. They made That's So Raven. That was a pretty alright show, even though if you look back, it's kind of similar to a lot of the stuff they have now.
She gave you a list too. I know, but I'm doing mine. I got the dryer going, the dishwasher going, and now I got you going. Bye-bye.
And like I said, they have made a bunch of cartoons back then, and some of them were pretty alright, like Dave the Barbarian, Recess, Lilo and Stitch animated series, American Dragon Jake Long. Those were pretty alright shows. But ever since High School Musical came around, I feel like Disney Channel just thinks, animation? Effort? Nah, let's just do more of this. Which is where things like Teen Beach Movie came out of nowhere. I mean, really, both of these movies stuck with their production names, High School Musical and Teen Beach Movie. Not much of a difference, except one takes place on a beach. Okay, but what if they did something a little more ambitious? Like the Wizards of Waverly Place movie, or, what's it called? Descendants, I think it is? Hang on, let me look this up real quick. Yes, Descendants. It was also a oh, yeah. The costumes for that were just ugh. For those who don't know, Disney Descendants was essentially this idea where all the Disney villains had children, and they were in school, but they look nothing like their actual parents do. They don't resemble the barely. They made a whole brand off of this too. Like, holy hell. Like I said, I do have concerns from, the company that's making it. But from the writing, I'm sure we're at least going to have a fun experience. Most likely. Though, unless Disney Channel puts the right amount of money and right amount of effort into it, I don't really see this going anywhere. If it was one of those straight-to-TV specials, kind of like Hey Arnold, a Jungle Movie, or something along the lines of Samurai Jack Season 5, then yeah, I definitely would have high hopes for that. But as of now, I'm on the fence with this one. The writers would definitely make it a fun experience. But since it's live action, you also have to depend on actors, not only voicing the characters, but making sure they portray them well in their movements and their looks. And once again, my other concerns about the budget, whether it's going to be straight to TV or live action, how ambitious it's going to be. Hopefully, maybe it'll be at least a fun experience. If not, we can at least say we tried. There is one more thing, though, that I'd like to say before I go. This is proof of something. I was saying this all around the 2010s. When everyone was going on about 90s nostalgia. The 90s nostalgia train is slowly ending, and in the 2020s, we're mainly going to be focusing on early 2000s nostalgia. And oh my god, I wonder what the hell that's going to be like. We're ironically bringing back silly bands. Oh, Jesus. Hopefully that'll be an interesting point in time. And don't worry, you're going to feel really old in the 2030s.
I remember when I was a kid and I watched shows like Steven Universe and Gravity Falls. Those shows were the best.
And you're going to be like, oh my god, I'm getting old. Those shows were great. But my god, I was in my 20s when Gravity Falls ended. I'm going to be a grouchy old man in his 30s like, you kids don't know nothing. I hope not, anyway. Jesus.